What's going on, Star Wars fans?
Hello there.
How is everybody doing tonight? Derek, Nick, we are live for our very first Star Wars Jedi Chat monthly live podcast. We're going to be doing this every second Wednesday of the month. We can't do a whole bunch of them, so we figured we'll do at least one a month, and we'll get on here who we can. Nick and Derek are going to be on most of them, hopefully, and we're going to talk about Andor tonight. We're going to talk about the new trailer that dropped for Tales of the Underworld, which is amazing, and some of the Star Wars celebration that's coming up. So thanks everybody for joining us. Please send them in your comments if you have anything, any predictions about Andor, predictions about Underworld, and we'll go ahead and get started. How are you guys?
Great.
Great. Really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You guys excited? I mean, Andor, all these trailers that we were waiting for these trailers, and then all of a sudden they're just dropping almost every day. The new shorts, the new official trailers. It looks so good. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Last time we talked, we were wondering when they were going to come out, and here we are with a lot of them.
Yeah. And then I rewatched the whole series, and then I got done. I was like, that was better than I remember, and I loved it the first time, so I watched it again. I'm like catching so many things. I'm like, I don't remember that.
You did 2 rewatches?
I did.
Nice.
I did. I had to.
Justin, the movie guy, what's going on? B-Man Gaming, thanks for joining us. What are you guys thinking about these new trailers for Andor? Are you guys excited about Andor? Let us know.
Quick reminder while they let us know. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Quick reminder while they let us know every week that Andor comes out, we're doing this too. We're doing
every Wednesday, the next day. We're gonna go. We're gonna. I feel like it's really cool because it's going to be an hour and a half. It's a movie every week for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about that. Yes, as content creators, I know Mike was talking about, it would have been cool to do the 12-week type of thing, but it's a question. Catch 22. I'm excited about an hour and a half every week for this. What's going on, Brett?
Plus, he's live like 5 hours a day anyway. So, like,
yeah. He's
busy,
it's
crazy.
Anyway.
He does three 2-hour lives a week.
I know. And I feel like last week or 2 weeks ago, he did like 2 in a day. He was doing something special. I think one of it was when the Tales of the Underworld dropped, I think.
Yeah.
Guy's a machine. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was going to jump on. Hopefully next time he'll be on here. So Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, he wasn't able to make it tonight, so we'll get him on here. But we got Derek, who again, as everybody knows, has a co-host podcast that he does with a couple buddies, living with the Landspeeder. If you haven't checked that out, go over and check it out. They Disneyify the rides and turn them into Star Wars, or they Star Warsify the Disney rides.
Get around.
Little dyslexic here, so
it's all right.
Oh, so what does Brett say here?
He needs his T-shirt.
I need that T-shirt.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. Hey, I got this. I'm gonna have to get Gap to start sponsoring us. But look at this thing.
Whoa, nice.
Whoa,
nice.
Right? I was
they got
some really cool ones. I got like 4 of them.
So that brings up a good point. So I'm doing this sleeve of all Disney characters as bad guys in Star Wars, as like the dark side. So I've already got Darth Maul, Donald Duck. I'm going to do Mickey as Darth Vader, but I'm really torn on Goofy. So Goofy is either going to be Cad Bane because they made a toy of Goofy Cad Bane, or Sith Jar Jar.
I feel like that would fit better. Yeah,
Sith Jar Jar.
Yeah,
but Cad Bane's so cool.
He is. You could do both.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
but that's why losing weight's not good. You lose your canvas size. I'm so jealous of that geeky tiki.
Hey, they got 1 million of them too. I didn't realize how many they had until.
Oh, the tikis.
Yeah. I got my mom's in the chat. My mom's in the chat. I got them a couple for, I think, a couple of years ago for Christmas or something.
Nice.
They have like a few of, I think they have Han, Chewie, and Greedo. because they come in packs now.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna get them all, and then I realized like how many they were pumping out, and it's like, yeah, I can't afford that.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Everything that's coming out now with all the new stuff that's popping up. You know, they have the new toys and everything else that's coming out. It's crazy. I had to sort of pull back on my stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what's Justin say here? Can you see any of the stuff from Justin there, Nick?
Yeah, he says he loves the geeky. Derek,
Nice.
are we the geeky guys now?
I think no, the Geeky Tikis.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them to sponsor the podcast. I mean, they're out of Franklin.
Geeky Tikis.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Beeline Creative. Come on.
I won't drink out of anything else.
I never do.
If you hit except this thing.
I also have the Golden Girls set, which is fantastic.
Your mom's at church watching us. I love it.
Wait, really?
That's
my dad. Hey, Dad.
Oh, your dad.
No, they're at Crunch. Crunch is the name of a bar.
Okay,
name of a bar. Harmony.
Oh, I thought it was the fitness place.
Yeah. No.
Watching on the treadmill, even better.
So Crunch is a bar?
Yeah, it's called On the Crunchy Side, and it's phenomenal.
Do they have like TVs? Is it on? Like, do they have it put on? They could put YouTube on and have us on like the big screen.
I don't know. That'd be great. They probably would. If you ask nicely. Best pizza in anywhere around. It's so good.
Nice.
But
nice. All right. So I'm gonna let's see here. What do I got? I got some stuff lined up. I know most people have already seen it, and I don't know if the sound will come through, so I might just take my microphone over there. But I'm gonna play this new trailer for we're gonna start off and just this Underworld, if anybody hasn't seen it yet. But this is a pretty cool trailer, and I think we were all obviously surprised when this came out. So it's going to be fun to watch this when it pops up. So it's going to be, and I don't think we have a release date yet for it either.
Never can be too cautious with strangers out here. God knows strange.
Hey, Ron, you want to give it a little more volume? There you go.
We got a problem here. What's the situation? Who's your best friend? Things have changed. Who are you? I was Captain Cruise. I don't want that life anymore. No one needs to die. Yeah. Hey. I hope it was worth it.
There we go. May 4th.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot that. Yeah, that's when they had it out. I mean, and I love these little things because they're just so quick, and the meat and potatoes are in it the whole time, which I think is really cool.
I have one big question.
By the way,
who shot first?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. Yeah, who did shoot first? Looks like the green guy.
It'll be interesting to see what's going on. So
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. And that kind of fits in with I'm wondering if they're going to start adding like Cad Bane or some characters like that into Galaxy's Edge because of all the smuggling, and you've got Hondo already there. I don't know. I'd love to see it. Cad
Yeah,
Bane in
the
Galaxy's Edge. I'd love
voice
that.
actor for Hondo, I think he's been tapping around or beating around the bush that there might be something coming out for with him, whether it's in this or something else. I saw that would be pretty cool if he comes out onto the one of these.
Derek,
he's
when's the next time you're going to Galaxy's Edge?
I'm so glad you asked. I will be down there May 9th through the 12th.
Oh.
Yeah, so right out, I couldn't get there for May the 4th, but because of that, I'm going to do another lightsaber build at Savi's workshop. They have a special edition, very limited run of the Reclaimed and Reforged. And
Okay.
I'm super excited to build these. Again, anything that's like short term, I'm all about it.
Yeah. What is the Reclaimed and Reforged thing? Is it like cooler pieces, or?
I think it's just different pieces. They're like ones that they found. So, there we go.
Nice.
And it's at Disneyland and Disney World. So don't let that throw you off. I'll be at Disney World.
Okay. So those are kind of some of the new parts for it.
Yep. So it's remnants of ancient battles and abandoned scrap have been scavenged from the distant reaches of the galaxy's outer rim. That's what these are.
Cool. It'll be your third one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So here, I'll grab them since you got that screen up there.
Has anybody else in the chat? Has anybody else been down to either Disneyland or Disney World and made these lightsabers yet? They're pretty cool. I really want to. Hang on, Derek. Let me put you up here.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Let me get you on here.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
They're quite beautiful.
That's pretty cool.
And they're heavy. So for
Yeah.
anybody that doesn't know, like a painted tusk is on. I love it. So they're going to go with me. You get to take a guest in there if you'd like. And they're going to go with me to build this next one.
Nice.
That's nice.
Because
Justin, when are you going? Justin said the movie guy, he said he's going down, or he'd like to go down to Galaxy's Edge just to meet
hang out.
some bounty hunters. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the new projection show they're doing at Disneyland in Galaxy's Edge?
Yes.
I have not.
Have you seen it? I mean, I've seen it on
I haven't seen it in person because so they're doing all of this for the 70th anniversary at Disneyland. So like we're praying that we get it all at Disney World, but they're doing all these like after hours parties and hopefully.
So will you be down there during that time, during the time frame that they're doing that stuff?
So that's only at Disneyland, and I'll be at World.
Okay.
But I will be down there obviously to make the lightsaber. So that's cool.
Yeah. And they got a bunch of new cool things, cool Star Wars things like popcorn holders and stuff. I saw a Tauntaun popcorn holder and stuff, which will be, or whatever you want to call it. But they got some really cool things. I'm hoping. We just planned another trip at the end of the year for somewhere else in a different country, unfortunately. But I want to go to Disney World. I want to go to Galaxy's Edge and just spend a week or two in Disney.
You should. I went to opening day at both parks. So there you go.
Brett wants to know, is each crystal a different color?
Yeah. So when you're building them, you've got 4 options. When you're building them, it's blue, green, red, and purple. But then you can buy all the other ones. So you can buy yellow, white. That might be all of them. Purple. Yeah. But then if you ever want, this is a little shout out to Ryan from I Am Geek, who's another co-host on my podcast on Landspeeder. Ryan has an Etsy shop where he makes kyber crystals, and he makes all kinds of really cool ones, but they work with the Savi's Workshop blades.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Do they respond to the different pieces? Like it changes colors based on the
and they have innards? They have different voices that'll play depending on like if you have the holocrons. So yeah, they've really done a great job with that.
Nice.
And I'm really happy with it. Getting picked on over here, Ron.
Yeah.
On me.
Said you need new glasses.
Yeah. Jacob said we need to save a spot for him and I when you go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to go down. Did you? I'm trying to think. I think Jacob had made one when he went down there, but yeah, I have not done that yet, which is obviously on my to-do list for sure.
Yeah. Well, and if anybody goes, you should really look up Painted Tusk. I know Meg is in the chat, but so Meg and Robin do scenic painting for Disney, and they may or may not have done some scenic painting on Galaxy's Edge. I don't know. They also made my amazing Pelican case that I have. That's the Star Wars themed Pelican case.
Nice.
If
Ron,
you were to
need one of
guess,
those.
if you were to guess what they might or may not have scenic painted, what do you think it would have been?
Well,
on his in Galaxy's Edge or on his Pelican.
In Galaxy's Edge.
I think Meg was doing a live the other day. Also, they do live painting in the parks on their YouTube channel. So, like,
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. So, if you want to see some stuff, the other day she was painting in Galaxy's Edge and was pointing some places, like maybe around a certain aircraft that's there that rhymes with Millennium Falcon.
We're doing great at avoiding litigation here.
Right. So Mike said, I got Chopper, but haven't built a Saber yet. So can you build droids down there as well?
You build little remote control droids.
Oh,
yeah. The
so
droid
that
depot.
Chopper that's behind you, Mike, is that the one that you made down there? If you're still on here, let me know. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd have to do a couple to do lightsabers and droids because I'd love to do a Chopper.
It's expensive. Like the droids are like 110 or 115 now, and the lightsabers are like 250. But the droids are cool. Like you're in this like little shop, but I will definitely say that's geared more towards younger. I mean, everybody should do it at least once. But the lightsaber build, it's this whole show. It's an experience. And if you are a massive Star Wars fan and you come out of there not almost in tears, then you're really not a massive Star Wars fan.
I've never heard anybody who's done it that wouldn't do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're looking at,
Yeah.
I've got $500 invested in it already. I'm ready to drop another $250. No problem. Even my wife was like, because she did the first one with me. And she was like, what are you going to do while you're down there? I'm like, I'm going to make another lightsaber. She's like, that'd be pretty cool. I'm like, that was permission. That was permission.
That was a blessing. You get to go ahead and do it. That's awesome.
We got a little comment from my dad about last week's show.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
he liked it.
What an amazing person, first of all, and an amazing author.
Yeah.
We sat down with James Lucino. If you haven't checked it out, you have to go check it out. I mean, he's 77 years old. I mean, sharp as a whip. And Nick has some amazing questions, some amazing lore questions. So again, if you're into Star Wars, like we all are here, you got to go check that podcast out. It's really cool. I mean, John Morton, that was one of my other favorite ones, and Amy Allen. But with James Lucino, he is the author of, I think, 9 or 10 different books for Star Wars. They're all on there. We talk, I think, just about all of them.
Yeah.
And, he does Plagueis, the Millennium Falcon.
Plagueis is so good.
And just some cool insights to him having to, go to Skywalker Ranch, and email back and forth with George Lucas or other people, and some of the things that he had done. He sent them in and they were like, yeah, no, so he had to revamp them a little bit, but it's really cool. If you haven't checked it out, it's a really neat podcast. And I had a great time. I know Nick did, and the questions were phenomenal.
Yeah, it was, he's like my favorite. He's above. I love Tim Zahn, but he's above Tim Zahn for me, and that was pretty cool to just pick his brain, And you could tell he liked it. Honestly, I felt kind of nervous going into it that like, oh, here we go again, a couple of dorks asking me questions about, but no, he wasn't. He was very forthcoming and super nice, great dude.
He's probably like, you
And
guys don't look like the typical dorks that tattoos and in decent shape. Like, what's going on here?
yeah, it was great. And some cool insights. I don't know if you've seen it, Derek, but like insights as to how it works in the, at least when he did it, with Lucasfilm and stuff. How he never really got any direction. It was just yes or no and write your own stuff, which is very cool. And almost even more impressive that there was any continuity at all throughout all of it, because all they were doing was approving or denying or telling him you don't know what you're talking about with no
This seems
help.
to be like the trend with that kind of thing. Like I've heard Timothy Zahn talk about that, and then the building I'm in, one of the artists in there did all of the artwork for it was Revenge of the Jedi originally.
Yeah.
And so he has all the artwork displayed, and he was talking about being at Skywalker Ranch and sitting in the room with George, and it would just be like a no, yes.
Yeah.
He's like, well, what else can I do?
Figure it out.
So, like, in hearing his stories of like he's an artist that's not a Star Wars fan, but like because of his artwork, that kind of molded how the last original, all the artwork and the lettering and stuff looked.
Yeah. And here's most of his books here. But even Jedi, Cloak of Deception. I mean, just a phenomenal person and a great author as well.
I'm sure anyone who's like into the books or stuff, or even just into Star Wars in general, would love to hear him talk, because he's not, it's not like he was geeking out like us, but he anything he was saying about like the characters, because he like lives with them when he's writing. Like he lives with this whole thing while it consumes his life, and then he puts it away forever. And so you could ask him about like, what about this thing that you wrote about? It's like right to him. He remembers exactly what you're talking about.
And he said he's never read any of his books.
He's never read any of his own stuff. So
yeah,
it's pretty wild.
I mean, I get that. You almost have to look at it like a musician. We're all around the music industry, so you don't listen to your own songs. Like, I already did
what I said to him, because I asked him. I said, it's sort of like a kid. Do you have a favorite? But because you have all these books or all these songs, again, if you're writing songs or writing books, I mean, you're gonna pick one or the other, but you don't, because they're all special in some way or form, in a different way, just like your kids, just like your songs, whatever else. So I thought that was pretty cool that, it was just really cool. Just a really cool interview that we got with him. Justin said something about would be cool to see Lucasfilm do an animated show based off of Ralph McQuarrie's concept art. Yeah, that would be amazing.
I mean, I got a couple of the Funkos back there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I have.
Ron probably has. Yeah, of course you have them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna send you a PTZ camera so you can just like have the camera pan around your room and show all. People are not understanding the way your basement is.
Whenever someone's on Zoom for an interview and they go like, "Oh, that's all your stuff back there is, that's a lot of stuff," and they don't even know just how much is in there. They have no idea. There's pretty much everything that's ever come out, it seems like.
I'll never forget when my wife came home and she was like, "Yeah, this lady I work with, her husband's a big Star Wars fan and he likes the Miami Dolphins." And I'm like, "Okay." And yeah, he's got like a massive collection of Star Wars in the basement. I'm thinking, this guy's probably got a couple pictures, maybe an action figure or two. And then when we met, I was like, "Oh, he's pretty cool." And then I went over to the house. I was like, "Oh my God." It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little bit of stuff here. Trying to get everybody over on Instagram to see if they'll come over here to YouTube. Yeah, it's not a basement, it's a museum. Well, it's a studio now.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Come over as a studio.
It's a studium.
Oh, do they have that would be great, Justin, if they had a Ralph Vader come out in the Gentle Giant. That would be pretty cool.
My dad's
Where's
asking
Chewie?
where he's sleeping. He's on the couch.
I got this Chewy, if that's okay.
Yeah. He is out cold, actually. Which is
Rough
probably
day.
good that we don't hear him barking.
Barking.
Yeah. We'll hear him at some point, I guarantee it.
So I want to ask anybody that's on here, do you guys have any predictions in reference to the Andor season 2 coming out? I think again we started and we got off a little bit of a track there for that, but I want to jump back into Andor because I think it's going to just be such an amazing show when it comes out. Is there any cameos you guys think that are going to pop up here, and things like that we're not sure of? I was showing Derek the Dedra choking thing, and I know Mike's talked about this extensively. Is it Darth Vader? Or is Disney just faking us out? Are they doing something else? Because again, in the one with Dedra, when she's holding her neck and stuff like that, they actually have, I think it's actually Vader's voice that's talking during that. So again, a lot of the times what they'll do is fake us out. But I'd love to see like a Palpatine, pop in, even if it's just in the chamber, when Mon Mothma's talking, but I think it's going to be just a fantastic series that's going to be coming out.
Yeah. I don't to answer, I don't know if you really asked, but I don't think Dedra's getting choked. I think she's probably like hyperventilating or something.
Freaking out.
I don't know if they're such masters at showing trailers that get us riled up and go a different way. But
it's almost like the Krennic thing, when Krennic did that. So it would almost be like a mirror of that. So I definitely agree with you on that one for sure.
I think also I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think seeing Palpatine is probably one of the more likely cameos because we'll probably see Mon Mothma get booted. For sure out of the Senate, which he would probably lead the charge on that.
Yeah, if not arrested.
Yeah. So wild that would be the most predictable cameo. And you only have so many, not to sound weird, but you only have so many more years with Ian McDiarmid to do it.
True.
Exactly.
And so, but other than that, I'm not really expecting any cameos. I'm cool with these characters.
I think we'll find out a little bit more next week at Celebration. Well, I guess it's I guess it's the end of next week.
Or whatever, yeah.
But Justin said Vader and Cal Kestis. I could see Cal Kestis, but I think it's going to depend on what happens at Celebration too. I think they're going to, if there's a lot of appearances from certain people, you might want to get ready that they're going to be in the show.
Yeah. I could see some other things getting announced at Celebration as well, where something like a Cal Kestis thing would be its own thing. But, Mike was talking last time he was on here about the whole, some kind of story about the path that we got. For those listening, it's like the path that like exiled Jedi are getting rescued through. Mike was talking about that being like an offshoot show. Andor's within the timeline of possibility to maybe just like quick glimpse at something going on, and you kind of know as the viewer what it is, but they don't really touch on it. So I could see that making a cameo, if anything.
Well, in the one trailer that they have, the ship that's coming into Yavin 4 is the same style of ship that, there was two of them in Kenobi. The one Vader ripped apart, and the other one they took off on. So it'd be interesting to see if any of them, maybe even Ice Cube's son, I forget what the name of his character was, but pop in something like that. Steve said something about maybe some Rebels cameo, and then like you said, Justin said Cal Kestis or Vader. I would love to see Cal Kestis and something. Besides
I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, I think if we're going to get anything, it'll almost be like a, just a Palpatine in the Senate, type of thing where we get like just
that'd be enough for me.
Yeah,
that'd be enough for me. That'd make my year.
We're gonna get Jar Jar.
Yeah, is he still a senator? I think we'll get more.
Go ahead. No, I was
I
just
think
said something about Caloran Beck, so that's what I was just saying as well. That would be really cool because he made an
Yeah.
announcement as well that something's going to happen during celebration. So, sorry, what were you going to say, Nick?
well, I could imagine like as far as big people or cast members, you'd get a lot more Forrest Whitaker, Saw Gerrera. Now that things are kind of building up, you get if we're going to lead into Rogue One, there's such a big deal made about Saw Gerrera in the beginning of Rogue One, and how everyone's got a problem with him. And you see that develop a little bit in the first season of Andor, that he's basically a terrorist. They're all terrorists, but he's like hardcore living in caves terrorist. So I feel like we'll see him do something crazy here to like justify where we find him in Rogue One and why they won't talk to him or won't even go to him, but that also all depends on what happens with Luthen. I'm excited to see more of him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's a badass. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
cool.
I think he's going to get found out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how he dies too.
Yeah.
I know Mike was saying something about possibly in his ship,
Mhm.
which could be that. You want to talk about a badass ship? That thing. I hope we get some more of that. I just with those lasers coming out and taking those 2 TIE fighters down, that was cool as shit. I thought it was pretty awesome. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some more of him. I think Luthen is a fantastic character that's going to be,
Oh, Justin said I need Luthen ship as a Lego set. No, I don't need any more. Oh my gosh, I can't afford any more Lego sets. I just got a Star Destroyer.
Steve says something about some more Easter eggs from his shop. Mike had pointed it out, and I think Nick and I had it on a couple weeks ago. There's actually a spot where he's walking in. It was actually I think it's the very first trailer. He's walking into his shop, and you can see one of Amidala's headpieces off to the right in there, which I thought is pretty cool. And again, I'd love to understand or see how he got some of these things, the Gungan shield, things like that. That would be amazing.
It's the perfect cover to be, staging a revolution, because he has to travel everywhere to get that stuff.
Yeah.
And be going everywhere and be gone for weeks at a time.
Yeah. And you're based on Coruscant, and you
Yeah.
have high dollar people there that are going to pay the money,
Yeah.
and highfalutin snobs, empire people, that are just assholes,
Mhm.
so he sees all of that coming in and out of his shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be he's definitely a cool character. It'll be interesting. Kino Loy, he's supposed to be back in, but it'll be interesting to see what we get from him.
Yeah.
How he's going to play a part in this. I think that'll be pretty cool to have him come back. But again, it's almost like Rogue One. Most of these characters aren't going to make it. I mean, they'll make it through Rogue One, and then that's it. Like Cassian and stuff. I do think that we might see like a little Jyn Erso.
Mhm.
Maybe possibly Galen. Maybe some flashbacks. But
Yeah.
I think we might see, maybe running around in on the Death Star, wherever he was based out of it when he was working on it. Something like that back before he got snatched up again.
I feel like if we're talking cameos, we could have a plot cameo. I think we'll get like toward the end all the workings of the defector Bodhi that we get in the beginning of Rogue One. So like if we get Galen Erso in this show, we could see like how he got this dude to defect, and then you got to go to this place to Saw Gerrera and get this message out. I mean, that's a huge thing. It's kind of similar to the whole reason Rogue One exists, is this one little thing that happened prior to the movie that sets off the whole movie. I think as far as cameos go, it'd be less like huge characters or less of the Cal Kestis types and more Rogue One specific types like Galen Erso or Bodhi, Rook, or any of those guys.
Well, you also have to look at like the Disney side of things and had to put on my cynical hat of like budget of
Yeah.
like at what point, Disney likes to cut budgets and obviously, like on the Star Wars stuff, they pretty much go all out. But
Mhm.
the more people you have, more budget, and then also that's more people you have to keep quiet.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, the actors wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't. They got family members.
Yeah.
You get seen going in and out of the set.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of big ones. Now, I could see, like Nick said, with the plot twist, I could see or tying together some plots that I could see.
Hmm.
But that's why I don't think we're going to get Cal Kestis. And I think it's a budget thing too.
Yeah, you mean
Agreed.
600 or what? 600 million or what? Not whatever. The astronomical amount of money that they spent on both of these seasons.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Worth it.
But yeah, I think
They
you're right.
got it. They can afford it. It's fine.
Yeah. But no, I think you're right, Derek, because you're not going to have these big characters going in, like the Cal Kestis. I had his name a little bit ago and I totally forgot it, but walking in and out of the studio or family, somebody's going to see something and it's going to get leaked, where, like Nick said, we might have a little bit of a B-list or a C-list artist that was in Rogue One. That's going to be, something like that. I think would be more realistic in the Andor series. Now for
Yeah.
Mandalorian and Grogu, who knows who's going to show up there? For Ahsoka, same thing. I mean, I think they did a great job with all those, with Ahsoka, with just the cameos that they had brought in there with Mandalorian. I mean, what a great setup, and same with Boba Fett. So I think that was really cool where they bring some of those bigger characters in. But for this, I think it is more of a, for lack of better words, more of a calm. It's not the lightsabers. It's not, the Skywalkers. It's this stuff that the real people are doing that don't have powers for the most part. The rich people, the poor people, so I think that you guys are both right in reference to the cameos for that.
Yeah. I don't know. The only way that I think they could get huge people and not have everyone find out about it is if their roles don't require them to be on the set all the time. So like, similar. I think everyone thought the Emperor could be in Kenobi, but wasn't really expecting it. And then he's there at the end, but you don't need to bring Ian McDiarmid on to set to do that. You can film him pretty much from anywhere, do his makeup and film him. So there could be some capacities. One thing that might be a bummer, especially for Ron, is that I thought I saw that Peter Cushing's family and Disney do not see eye to eye on using his face. Or like they weren't super thrilled about that in Rogue One. I might be wrong if anyone in the chat knows, but that would mean that maybe we don't have as much certainty for a Tarkin. I thought there was some battles going on about them doing that. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like a Star Wars movie sued for digital recreation of Peter Cushing.
Yeah. So I would love to see some Tarkin, but it'd be hard to go from, and obviously more power to the family, do your thing. But it'd be hard to go from that recreation that surprised us all to like an actor, now that we have it.
Mike makes a really good point.
Yeah.
Put him to rest, but he should have been put to rest a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. I mean,
that's a whole other thing.
But like Nick said, again, he is getting older, so again, he's not going to be around as long. But I think, we did have a Darth Vader, in Kenobi. We really haven't had a Palpatine pop up, but and this is a very political show.
Mm-hmm.
So again, he's, head of the political stuff here.
It would be perfect to get Mon Mothma's sort of like demise from him. Same way he does it in the animated stuff with the Bad Batch. Same way he does it in Revenge of the Sith. Same way he'll eventually do it. I hope one day we get one of him dissolving the entire government during A New Hope, which is something that James Lucino said he wanted to write about, which would have been sick. but he won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
But like the only guy who could really deliver that in a way that's like awesome is Palpatine. You know, I wouldn't want to see Massa Maida telling Mon Mothma to get out of here, you know, but
Right.
I'm sure they could do it well. But I don't know. It gives it a little extra boost. And I agree with Mike. Oh, yeah. And then this. Thank you, Mike. I just knew there was some kind of battle with his likeness. So maybe we would get a Tarkin. And then Ron, then forget I said anything.
Well, but again, I think we had a Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to double up on some of these cameos.
Yeah.
I think that Palpatine is probably the highest percentage that we would see in any of these, because it is more of a political show. You don't have to, like you said, you don't have to have him on set the whole time. You can put him in a green screen. You can put him in the Senate, you know, in the distance even. And we don't have to have a close up of him.
You could do his voice, you know, do his voice and have the silhouette. You know, you don't have to see him. There you go. I think he's lying. My dad.
Like no, you know, and so since you're here, Mike, I wanted to ask you. So, is it just Anakin, or is it Anakin and Darth Vader? Is that is Darth Vader like your number 2, or is it Anakin / Darth Vader, or just Anakin until he goes over to the dark side?
And at what point do you cut him off?
Right.
Yeah.
Before his eyes turn colors? Or...
Yeah. How many backflips are we doing here, Mike? For Anakin.
Yeah, Justin, Vader's my guy too. I mean, I've got Samurai Vader, you know, yeah. Vader all the way.
Yeah.
Now, fun. Nick, you brought up Masamita, right? Or however you say it. Yeah. And what's the other person that's always the woman that's sitting on the other side?
I don't know, but she's cool looking too with the bald lady. Yeah.
And like that's, I think you're right, Nick. Like that could be something you would see.
Yeah.
Because it's not like anybody's beating down their doors for shows.
Right.
I mean, I shouldn't say that. Maybe they are.
And I think it would be cool. I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool, but like it wouldn't hit nearly as hard as seeing Palpatine do it. But it'd be a recognizable face, or a couple recognizable faces, and we're not really like holding out on seeing Masamita or that lady, despite the fact that they're cool. But you know, it'd be within their role.
Yeah. Let's just get all 3 of them. That'd be stellar.
No backflips, Mike said.
No backflips. I was kidding, Mike. But
mom's
mom, yeah, I do believe that. Yeah, I think she said she did the buns for Halloween. Yeah.
Switching gears a little bit. What about this Underworld? What do you guys think about that? Are you excited about that?
Looks cool.
Of course. Bad guys?
Yeah. Well, and I think the big thing, what they're going to have to do is figure out with Asajj, you know, what are they after choices or not choices? Dark Disciple.
Dark Disciple. Yeah.
What are they going to do with her, and how are they going to figure her out?
Oh, Mike's absolutely right. Asajj is getting more for sure. I mean, all the Bad Batch stuff, and come on.
I think Asajj has the same priority, obviously not as much priority, but the same type of love and priority as Ahsoka gets. Like they weren't going to kill her off in animated series ever. And Asajj has such a cool journey to have. So like going forward, that I think we'll milk it forever. And I'm okay with that. We got to get TJ's opinion on that.
Yeah. We'll have to definitely get her on again. If you haven't, again, we'll go back. If you haven't seen that, we interviewed TJ Marino, TJ and Paul first. He's a tattoo artist and she's a cosplay Asajj. And I mean, Disney would be foolish if they do live action not to call her up. And I'm sure they probably know about her already, but she just does a phenomenal Asajj Ventress. when she gets dressed up in cosplay, and we've had her on a couple of times talking about it. So if you haven't seen that, check that out as well. It's over on our podcast there on YouTube. If you're just joining us tonight, thank you. Put up your questions here. Derek, myself, Nick are all here talking about Andor season 2. We're talking about the new Tales of the Underworld and any other Star Wars stuff you guys want to throw up here and chat about for a little bit longer. We're doing live here from now on once a month, the second Wednesday of each month. Nick and I will definitely be here. Hopefully Derek will get Mike on here, and who knows who will pop up on these monthly lives, but we're going to continue to do that along with the other interviews that we do here on Star Wars Jedi Chat. We talked a little bit about the James Lucino that we've done. We've interviewed Amy Allen, Chris Bartlett, some other musical people. Nick Perry from the band Silvertide was on here. So again, check those out if you haven't already, and send us some questions here if you have anything.
Now, Justin's wrong here, though. He says, what did Cad do to make him a cold-blooded unaliver? You have to be careful saying that on YouTube. I don't.
We're already going to get taken down for the trailer, so
but I think the audio was cut.
Yeah,
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a cold-blooded unaliver. I think he is an opportunistic. He's a merc, and he's a hired gun.
Yeah.
Now, I guess he has gone after some people, but
I feel like he'll do anything for the job.
Yep.
For the right. He's always got a number. He was willing to kidnap kids, but I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a great human. I'm just saying,
but that doesn't make him. He's not going around killing people for no reason. He's got his number.
Yeah.
Don't we all? But the good side, I whether you're just making this a question, I don't think we'll see a good side in campaign, Mike.
I hope not.
We might see an opportunity for it, but he's not going to take it.
Yeah. Or, again, maybe when he was younger and him and his best friend there, whatever, something happens, obviously. But I think it's in his probably late teens, early 20s when he turns into an asshole, and just like Nick said, just whatever you're going to pay me, I'll do whatever you want, kill kids, kidnap kids, whatever we need to do. So I don't think we'll see that. If we see a good side of him, it's going to be about that big, I think. And then we'll get right into the bounty hunter of him.
Yeah.
Probably depends on when this takes place too. Because you could maybe see like what makes him say, well, nothing matters in the world ever, so I'm just going to get paid and do whatever, or if we get him while he's already, it looks like it's while he's already somebody. So, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. The Asajj thing, I have no idea where that's going. With the kid she's with and everything. Yeah. I could see that. Boba also, I feel like Mike's talked about this on our podcast. He's talking about Boba Fett going sort of cold-blooded. And when Mike was on, we talked about Boba Fett was also pretty groomed after. So he sees his dad murdered in front of him and then is still groomed by a bunch of bounty hunters and bad people that are taking advantage of him. And I feel like we could see that with Cad Bane too, like has opportunities to maybe slow down and just doesn't,
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But like what Steve's saying here, it didn't ruin it for me, or it didn't spoil it for me for Boba Fett. I think he could have been a little bit more ruthless on the show, but I thought it was cool how they did, bring him into that, the Tusken family. He spent time with them, but then again, he's still out there.
Yeah. See, look.
Yeah. You just got that.
And killing them, So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Cad Bane in this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Toto.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I would say for the Boba Fett thing, I liked that he was humanized a little bit, and it's not like the Boba Fett that we were all wondering about is the same that we see then. As Mike has said before when he was on here, like the dude pretty much died and then is revived a little bit and is kind of like cared
born
for
again.
finally. Yeah. Like and now he has something to live for in protecting people or like, whatever. I like that he's humanized. It might have ruined it for me if this was set, during the Empire Strikes Back and he turns out to be a nice guy.
Right.
But I think it works because the circumstances are different. He's a human being. I feel like, yeah, there we go. 5 years. I just feel like it humanizes this dude who we really didn't know about. But I would agree with that if it were set, like I said, way earlier. And the dude who's going around killing people, capturing people is all of a sudden a nice guy. But, I think the circumstances presented a human moment for him. And he's still a killer. Like, let's not,
Yeah, don't discredit him here.
Stabs the guy we've been talking about as an asshole, stabs him right through the heart, or presumably the heart. I don't know. But, so.
Yeah,
anyway.
for sure.
He's still thinking that I should get Darth Jar Jar instead of Cad Bane. I mean, Cad Bane is. I think we should wait to judge that until
I think
we
you should
watch
do
the
both
show.
of them. You got enough room for both of them.
Yeah, but
there's
that
enough
the only ones
characters.
that I had two, because Pete is going to be Django, and because there's a whole line of toys they made. So I don't know. Oh
yeah,
Meg wants to draw it.
Oh, there you go.
All right, I'm in.
There you go. To go back to Steven, I will say he does seem different in The Mandalorian. Boba Fett seems different in The Mandalorian than he does in Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. But yeah. Who's Droopy McCool?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that one.
Isn't he one of the band members?
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh no. I get DJ Rex, but no. This is all like Disney characters as bad guys for Star Wars. Except for Chip and Dale are going to be Ewoks because Ewoks are awesome.
Mike said, "Look it up. He's the GOAT."
Yeah, I'm looking now. I'm like, oh boy, I didn't know that was his name.
Is he one of the band members?
Yeah, he's like the pig face,
Okay.
like mushroom, other thing looking guy. He looks like something.
So we were I forget who the other one that plays like the harmonica type style thing in the band. Me and Todd were on a call, Derek, and we were trying to figure it out and see if we could see what he's playing and stuff. It was pretty funny.
I've seen. I was doing a Honer podcast and we were talking about that. Oh, you're gonna paint it at Galaxy's Edge Live.
Oh wow,
I love it.
Yeah, bro said they only play one song.
So
go ahead.
So Derek said he's rewatched Andor twice.
Yep.
Ron, you're rewatching it now, or have you finished up?
I just finished it. Yep.
Yeah. I'm rewatching it right now with Madeline.
Nice.
So when we meet next, it will be after the first batch of episodes. So in that first batch of episodes, now that you rewatched it and you got the feel of where that I'm going for. I'm trying to get a feel of where we're going.
Yeah.
Where do you think we're opening up? Or how do you think we're opening up? Or what are you looking forward to in that first batch?
Well, I think we're gonna get the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a major storyline in that, especially the first, along with the Gorman massacre. I think those are going to be the two big things in the in the whole series. Obviously, I think that Gorman is going to be insanely critical to what's going to go on for the rest of this. And that's, again, like we've talked about before, I think it's really cool that we're going to get all that meat and potatoes, because you're packing an hour and a half into a year. You're packing a year into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to get all that. And as they continue to throw out these shorts and these trailers, we're still getting a lot more stuff that's coming out with this. And we're getting to see some of these little snippets here and there, which, yeah, they might be faking us out and putting this one over here and that one over there. But I still think that it's just looks so phenomenal. But I think we're going to start off with a wedding. I think that'll happen for first off, because again, she's wanting, Mon Mothma's wanting money to get in here so that we can, get on there. Yeah, see, a year later and hopping in the wedding. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, Mike. I think that's going to be a big part of it, and we've seen a lot of that in these trailers and these shorts that have come out. I mean, I think every single one of them has something to do with the Gorman massacre and the wedding. So she's trying to get some more money for the support. So it's definitely a big thing that's going to be going on there.
Well, and she's trying to get her accounts unfrozen,
right?
By the
blaming it on her husband who's gambling the game.
Yeah. The so when we last talked about it, did we feel like the Krennic and all the Imperial people that are all dressed up in their like formal attire, do we feel like that's going to happen at the wedding, that they're coming there? No. Okay.
I don't.
No, you don't think so?
No. And I'm waiting for her husband to kind of act a fool at the wedding or something. Maybe not the wedding.
See, I think Krennic will be there. I think Krennic and some other high officials will be there just to poke the bear. It might not be when she gets locked up or when she's thrown off of the Senate, but I think that they're gonna show up and just try to ruffle some feathers.
Do you guys?
I can see your husband getting taken out too.
Yeah. Do you guys remember? Do you remember if in that clip or in the trailer the guy whose son her daughter is marrying? I don't know what the cleanest way to say that is. The banker,
right?
Is he standing next to them? All the Imperial people.
I'm trying to think.
Mike would know.
Yeah, no.
what
But
do you think, Mike?
Because if he's standing next to them, I could see either him or her husband kind of like casually, I know some upper crust Empire dudes. It'd be an honor to have him at the wedding, thinking that, the banker guy thinking like this is the best cover we have. And then the husband acting a fool, like you said, Derek. And it just makes everything ridiculous. And if the massacre happens early in the season and it happens at the same time at the wedding, that'd be an insane group of people to hear about it from.
No kidding.
And she'd lose her shit hearing it from a Krennic type,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, because I'm sure she's not a fan of Krennic at all at this point either.
Yeah,
she knows he's an ass.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting. Oh, wait a minute, what do we got? All right, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be cool, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because the father of the groom is almost like a gangster style guy. That's where he has his money, right?
Yeah.
And that's sort of what we're she's hoping that she can get some money from him, obviously, to start to help out with her bank account, so it doesn't look like she's what she's actually doing, trying to help and support the rebellion, which is, it'll be interesting to see. But now I think that you're going to have some upper echelon there, and I think that whether they're invited or they just come to again poke the bear and see what's going on during this wedding, because again, it's Mon Mothma. She is a high-ranking representative in the Senate, and everybody knows what's going on, and they all know that she's ruffled some feathers, obviously, as well.
Yeah, they're already onto her.
Yeah, and they're still trying to get Luthen, so that'll be interesting to see. Especially there was one that came out. Mike was talking about it yesterday. I watched his podcast today, where there's 6 stormtroopers behind her and Luthen, and her and Luthen are standing there, and he doesn't have his wig on or anything. It doesn't look like they're like scared of anything or they really see anything coming yet. But it's interesting to see what yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see what's going to happen if she's going to get locked up. I don't think she'll get locked up at the wedding. I think it's going to be after she talks about how, the monster's coming for all of us, meaning Palpatine. After the Gorman massacre, she's going to step up and open her mouth and say what terrible people these guys are. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see.
So are we going to see the memorial of the missing of Gorman?
I don't know.
Maybe.
So I was reading some more about that too. Of like, are they going to do kind of like that? Making them more martyr, like a martyr kind of thing, and getting our heartstrings tugged on that. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Sorry. Sorry.
Hey, you have volume control. I love it. Look at you go. Chewie just wants to be a part of it. It's okay.
Yeah, where did you see that, Derek?
It was in one of the books, but I was reading some different articles. Let me look. Mike might know. He says, "Dog, Mike, where the missing of Gorman? What was that from?
The missing or the
memorial of the missing?
The memorial.
Yeah,
and that would be after, though, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think I found it. The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. A history book written by Beaumont Kin after the Battle of Exegol. I don't know. I had to read up some more, but it was like one of, and that might just be a super deep cut that somebody was just wishing for.
Right.
I don't know, but that's why we're here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I say that and it's right, I look like a genius.
Right. And if you're not, it's okay.
Yeah, because most speculations aren't right anyway.
Shit, I just lost my train of thought. I was gonna. I think it'll be interesting, and that's what I like about the year moving on. So we'll have. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, because when is the Gorman massacre compared to the wedding? Because the first episode or first 3 episodes are a year, and then we're gonna move on a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
It starts during the wedding.
Yeah, it'd be a classic, like, dramatic good thing is happening over here, terrible thing is happening over here.
Yeah, it's like Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah.
They take enough from Star Wars.
That's a lot of the main stuff. I mean, those are 2 main storylines that are going to happen pretty much in the first 3 episodes.
They have to. They can't take another ratings drop on anything.
Yeah.
Like for real, like you look at some of the past shows that didn't perform the way they wanted them to. And I think they're going to have to come out guns blazing. And I hope they do.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready for it. But
Yeah,
I loved the pacing of the last season, though. So, like, I loved that slow pacing of Andor.
I think it's
going to be slow paced this time.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think they covered that slower build up just with a whole season, and now we get these chunks. Maybe in the 3 episode chunks there'll be some, like, a slow middle to build up. I feel like there's going to be a big conclusion to each chunk, and then obviously the biggest one at the end. But you can't, like, not close it out and then go to a year later,
Right.
So probably big fanfare every week. Yeah. See you, Mom. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us.
Just so you guys know, we were up on, like you said, Ron, up on the TV at the Crunchy Side in Harmony.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So whoever's there, I miss you guys. I wish I could get a nice golden and pizza. Yeah. It's the best.
And what town is that in?
Harmony, Minnesota.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There's another sponsor for you. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I
If
don't
you're
have
just
any.
joining us,
I don't have,
go ahead.
No,
They say if you're just joining us, please jump on and throw out some questions. We're talking about Andor. We've talked about the new Tales of the Underworld. So we're just on here for a live. We're doing once a month now. We're gonna go Star Wars Jedi Chat. It's gonna go live once a month and talk about things. We are gonna go, like Nick said at the beginning, every Wednesday after the Tuesday release of Andor. For those 4 weeks, we will be live recapping that and talking about that, looking for Easter eggs, seeing what's going on. Again, we all have our assumptions right now. So in a few more weeks, we'll be able to do that. Star Wars Celebration, I think we're going to get a bunch of cool stuff coming out of that. So we'll be able to talk about those things as they come out, because again, Star Wars Celebration is going to be just before Andor drops. So we'll have a bunch more stuff coming on after Andor.
We might need to do a emergency live if there's a lot happening with Celebration. We might need to break our code.
I'm available. I'm ready.
Yeah, because honestly, has it been since you and I met at Celebration, Ron? Has it been since then that they haven't had one?
No, they had London.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they had
well,
London.
even so, it's been a couple of years.
Yes, but especially in the States.
I took off work on Friday, so
well, I'm gonna be streaming it or watching Mike. Either one, because he'll be talking about it, because he's got some people that'll give him some information. So it'll be interesting to see what happens during that. So I think it'll be really cool. And yeah, I think you're right, Nick. We'll probably have to jump on maybe Saturday or Sunday and talk about some things that we got going on with Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, depending on what they decide to show people, we're at least always good for people reporting what they saw, not necessarily being able to film it and post it. But yeah. What do we got here? Celebration is a Micro Galaxy Squadron exclusive. X-Wing from Twins in the Vision series. Would kill for that. Visions is awesome, Steven.
So good.
Yeah.
I know some people that would disagree
So
with
good.
you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys honestly, truth be told,
is that like the one thing you don't like?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't given it a chance.
Oh,
so
the first one will hook you. The first one will hook you.
Man, there's a few of them that were kind of like, but they were great. Who am I kidding? They were awesome.
Yeah, there were a few that, but there's so many of them that even if there's a couple that really aren't for you, then the next one ought to be,
Yeah, because the one with the band, most people didn't like, and I'm like, well, obviously I identify with that. So
yeah,
music, let's go.
And if nothing else, no matter what, they're all like kind of. You could watch them just to appreciate how well they did them. It's really artistic, especially the first story in the second season. The animation is insane. It's unbelievable.
Mike says he loves Ronan and some others, but he's a canon guy. Well, so what? You don't like Revan? Are you telling me you don't like Revan or Malik? Come on, Mike. Are we gonna go down this road? I like Mike.
Hey, Mike, we have it on good authority from James Lucino that you should discount the notion of canon and legends. I'm just kidding. I'm a canon guy too.
Yeah, and that
legends, baby, legends.
Yeah,
that's the I'm a canon guy too, and that's the things that I was asking Nick about a couple things because I hadn't read. I'm reading Rising Rebel, I think it is, which is it's almost like the prequel to Jen. It's Jen's story while she's with Saw right now.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. But I want to read. I haven't read the Catalyst either.
Yeah,
so that'll be interesting to watch. But for me, I'm not a big anime style guy, so I need to watch it just because it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
but
and Mike's right. Revan is canon, but the stories, all the stories we have about him are not, or Darth Bane's not. Like those stories aren't.
Is Bane not canon?
I think Bane is canon, but
technically, but the story is not
are legends.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
I was just messing with Mike, by the way. But a good point that I think we've talked about a little bit, but James highlighted in our last interview. For anyone who just joined, you should watch it. It's great. But his thing was to develop your own sense of like what works. And I feel like that works perfectly for his probably most famous book, which is Darth Plagueis. It's legends. It's not canon, but there's not really anything to disprove it. And there's not really anything that's overwritten it. And you can definitely kind of make your own sense of like what wouldn't work in the films now versus, what's on the page. It's still a great story. Almost all of it could be canon, and there are plenty of novels out there that could be canon, particularly like you said, Derek, the Revan stuff. So far, the only distinction I would make about canon is if you want to see it on the screen, if you want to see a Legends story on the screen, there are some things that they probably would have to change to make it happen, but not for Old Republic stuff. They can do whatever they want. But like Thrawn was probably the best example of why they made things Legends, because they knew they wanted to use him and it wouldn't work. They can't get Harrison Ford and Luke and Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher to all be 20 again. Right. So like they need to bring him into the timeline in a way that they can use him a lot. And it just didn't work in the old one. So they just had him rewrite it. And that's kind of was the goal, is to like pull things that we like and put them in a way that works so that they can keep putting it on the screen. But things like Plagueis, man, like that could easily be canon. So I liked what James had said about develop your own sense of like the story you want to read and see how that fits for you. But yeah, anyway, that's my soapbox.
What's up, Brandon? Thanks for joining us.
Well, and especially like Knights of the Old Republic and like all of those amazing video games. I'm definitely the gamer guy and the Disney guy. So like that's where my world comes from. So any of the games and those characters, I want them.
Yeah.
I already made stories. Let's go.
And you don't have to be super careful either. It's so long before the stuff we, are familiar with that you can really make it its own universe almost, the way they did with the books in the game, obviously. But Galaxy 23 Corp. What do we got here?
Yeah, we just we just talked about that. Galaxy 23 Corp. I'm gonna enjoy it. I know as a content creator, and I know Mike was talking about it as well. It'd be cool to do 12 weeks of this, but we get a Star Wars movie for 4 weeks in a row, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. I just wish I was in Nashville and we could have donuts in the morning when it comes out. That's like a core memory for sure for me, of Ron showing up over to my studio. We had the projector and the big speakers and donuts.
Mandalorian, baby.
Sounds
so
great.
Good. Core memory.
Yeah.
Well, in the 25th, it'll be Return of the Jedi. I'll be back in theaters, or
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith will be back in theaters, which will be pretty cool. I'm excited about that. I'm gonna see that a few times, I think, before it leaves. I don't know how long it's going to be in the theater, but that's going to be a pretty epic thing. I think me and Nick are going to have to make some plans to go check it out together.
Yeah, we have to be careful because last time when they put the Phantom Menace in, it turned out that not everywhere has it. So they show it in select theaters. You can't just show up to a theater and hope it's there. You got to do your research, because that's not fun to go. But
and just getting the popcorn buckets is going to be wild. Like, this Disney popcorn bucket craze that they've created is overwhelming. And I say that because I've got 15 of them.
Yeah.
And I want all of my bootlegging all the ones from Disneyland, because you can't get those in Disney World.
Revenge was Justin's first movie, Star Wars movie in the theaters. It was almost Attack of the Clones was my first in the theater. But Revenge of the Sith was definitely the most memorable for me. So I'm with you, Justin.
Phantom Menace for me.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace was the first one for you?
Yeah. I mean, I was born in 85. I did just turn 40.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. I wanted to go backwards a year, but yeah. Phantom Menace was my first. No, I'd obviously seen the other ones a million times, but
I think the movie Galaxy 23 Corp.
It'll be interesting because we have Ahsoka season 2 coming out, which I'm guessing will probably be after the movie. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to go. That movie's going to take them into whatever Never Land, or whatever's going to happen is going to end with that movie.
Yeah,
because again, we have the other trilogy coming out as well, possibly for the Baloney's one doing the Thrawn one, right?
Supposedly, and I don't know if that comes from any official places, but they've got
so
a lot of
rumors
people
there.
Yeah, we got a lot of people signed to a lot of things, and that could happen or not. I
mean, we still have all the Kathleen rumors, and back and forth. So
yeah, I wonder if Celebration will do that. I wonder if they'll announce that at Celebration. Who's going to take her spot?
Mm-hmm.
If she's actively step down, she said she's not stepping down.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. Even if she was, I don't think they would, because can you imagine if they were like, "Oh, she's stepping down, and here's the new person"? That place would erupt.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Everybody would just
it'd be so good.
Just shit on her. But again, I think she gets a bad rap. I really think she gets a bad rap
for sure.
And we talked about this like the last time we were all on. We talked about this. Like, she was an absolute rock star in ILM.
Yeah.
She did so many amazing things. Like, there's movies we would not have if it wasn't for her.
Right.
And she had to go through this during this acquisition through, Disney taking over.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Do I love decisions she's made? No. But on the same token, we wouldn't have Filoni.
Yeah. And she's a bombshell producer, right? It's not like she's in there writing it, and she's catching the blame for the creative decisions. Now she has to approve them, right? But if Filoni is like the story student of George Lucas, Kathleen Kennedy is the filmmaking production student of George Lucas as well. And we wouldn't really have one without
her.
Yeah.
So he handpicked her. It's not like it was a mystery.
We can't be saying like, "Oh, dude, George got bounced out, and now we have Kathleen Kennedy." Like, he wanted her. She's one of his disciples as much as Filoni is.
Right.
So
I mean, she did E.T. and Jurassic Park.
Back to the Future. Yeah.
Like, there's so much. So like, I feel weird defending her, but she had an amazing track record. She was the right person for the job.
Yeah, I'll defend her all day long on when people come at her for creative decisions. Although she approves all of it, like, she's not in there writing it or like editing it or doing any of that stuff. She's making it happen. And if I am sitting here saying that I love that we get Star Wars all the time, she's the person who makes that happen, or is part of the team that makes that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if George would have still been around, so would she, so Absolutely. It's not like
100%.
It's not even debatable. So
like let's really, I mean, if people want to get nasty and like, I've said my piece about her, but there was plenty of things that George did that people didn't like.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, I don't know if it's cool for us to assume that like Dave Filoni should be in that job either, because
I don't want him in that job.
That's not his bread and butter. That's not his thing. And I've seen people say, get Filoni that job. It's not the same thing at all.
No.
You want him where he is right now. And then you get someone who can make projects happen in there, like Kathleen Kennedy can. and I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I think putting Dave Filoni in that position would be a disservice to him, and putting him at a position as if he's a savior is a disservice to him too, because inevitably he's going to make a story that people are going to put so much weight into that might not hit the same as, the first time you saw Clone Wars. And then eventually the fandom will turn on him because of whatever. And then that's not fair to him. It's not fair to us.
Let's give it to James Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got the relationship with him already. Yeah. He's also got a land. He's about to have his second land.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they we can just blame Bob Iger.
Yeah, there we go. Honestly, there we go. Great.
I mean, what's the Marvel guy? What's his
Kevin
name?
Feige?
Yeah. That's another one.
I think he would be a good one. And they were talking about that as well when all this all dropped.
That's not just my idea either. That's just one that I've seen.
I feel like I don't know how I would like Star Wars having the same amount of things coming out as Marvel has. I do
but they backed off because they realized they went too hard with that.
Yeah.
But even still, like he's done some great stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We probably won't get what we want. So it's
right.
We're not going to be we're Star Wars fans. Like, it's like the saying goes, no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Yeah. So it feels like
the biggest podcasts are the Star Wars haters.
Oh yeah. That's why I love being on with you guys, because you two are both pretty optimistic about most Star Wars things. And I really enjoy that.
Oh,
thanks, Derek.
Yeah. Well, and again, and that's one of the reasons, man, when I found Mike and started listening to him, it was freaking awesome, because there's no hate, there's no bashing, there's no, he'll get a couple people that'll pop up in the comments and stuff, and he'll either do a little dig at them or he'll just ignore them, because again, it's out there. If you don't like Star Wars, then don't come on this and bash it. There's no reason. Go find something else that you can talk about, somewhere.
You hear that, chat?
Now, good. Brett says he doesn't want a 3.5-hour movie. I don't want James Cameron to do the movies. I want him to run the show.
That's the differences we need to make. Is that's like Kathleen Kennedy's not writing the movie. She's not writing the script. She's giving him the money, making it happen, approving it. And she's not editing it. Yeah, James Cameron can make all those things happen.
Heck yes, he can.
So,
well, I think Feige can
too. Yeah, and that's the distinction. Is like, Star Wars needs for lack of a better term, a suit with the sensibility to make things happen. Who cares about the franchise?
I know the guy.
Yeah,
Michael Eisner.
Who's that?
Michael. Oh boy.
Bring it on.
The Disney fans are turning over. Michael Eisner was the head of Disney.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that got replaced with Bob Iger.
Okay.
So Michael Eisner was the savior of Disney. He saved Disney, and him and Frank Wells. But then Frank Wells died in a helicopter crash. And then after that, he was just never right again. But lately, Disney's been bringing him back on all these documentaries. And people are like, we need Eisner back. And like, give him Star Wars. Do it. Do it. I love Michael Eisner.
Do it.
Yeah, see, Justin knows. Justin's got this.
Yeah. There's a lot of Disney fans out there, which is good. I mean, they've been doing it for so long. They've brought us some really, really good stuff.
Yeah,
I think, with the money that they have, like Derek said, I mean, they can just spend it on whatever they want. And I think Andor is a perfect example of that, and so is the Acolyte, and I don't know if there's anybody on here that didn't like it, but I know the three of us did.
Yeah.
I thought it was
especially fantastic. The last couple episodes.
Yeah. And Skeleton Crew, same with that, they've come out with some really good things, I think. And I don't think we would have gotten all of the stuff that we've gotten if George continued to hold on to it.
Yeah.
So I think that Disney was a good move. Whether you agree with it or not, or whether you like every single thing that's come out, that's fine or not fine. But I think we wouldn't have as much stuff as we have coming out now if George still had it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, so back on Michael Eisner. So Michael Eisner also was the one that like brought in the first ride. Darn it, now I'm brain farting, everybody. Star Tours. He's the one that brought in Star Tours and made that first partnership with Star Wars. But also before he was at Disney, he was the CEO of Paramount Pictures. So or president of Paramount. So he could do it. He's also really old.
Yeah.
He was born in, I'm looking here, born in 42.
Hey,
But I want him because I love Michael Eisner. I'm here for it.
big
Steve said it's still an amazing ride.
Yeah, of course it is. It's getting better. They add to it all the time.
Yeah. Some people didn't like the story behind the Acolyte, but it's I thought it was just fantastic. I think they did a great job with all the fights and the choreography that they had in it. It was some of the most violent Star Wars that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It needed a second season. Like I feel like even if you really hated it, you should say then give them 2 seasons. It's kind of like a sports coach. You fire a coach after 1 season.
Right.
They didn't even get to run the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything that we say we love about Andor would probably be similar with the second season of The Acolyte, because the first season would really just inform us on where we go, and I don't know what the distinction is, because Andor deals with a lot of really important stuff that we see in the films, but maybe because in Andor there's nothing about the Force, no one was really sensitive about it. And with The Acolyte, we're leading right into an era of the films, and people were sensitive about every little move and what that means for it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's minute by minute in Andor, but nobody cares.
Well, I think also the cast was pretty political and a lot of social issues that they were talking about on the side. So like cast and crew, I think that was a little bit polarizing for a lot of people.
Right.
Me, I just want to see some Star Wars.
Yeah. I agree with you, Derek. Like, I don't understand how people don't assume there should be 2 or 3 seasons of anything. Like, why would you cut it when the story hasn't even really opened up yet? It's clearly set up for multiple seasons. So I was honestly, we said it on here, I was shocked that it ended unresolved.
Yeah, with a giant cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't put Plagueis around the corner and then just we're done.
Yeah. And they're standing there like something impendingly wrong is about to happen in the same place that we just saw him in the cave. Like
right.
And or
you
Yoda.
Know that
Ron,
they have more of the story coming. Like you've already thought of the idea of the story. It's pretty much fleshed out.
Yeah.
Do something. Just at least make a Plagueis show or something.
Yeah. I think Ron mentioned last week that we'll probably get the rest of it via novels and comics and stuff if they're not going to do the show. But
yeah, Tales of the Acolyte. Yeah, that would.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
awesome.
That would be good.
Well, and I think like you were talking about, Nick, you can't bring Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher back, and but again, they could do an animated series on with those characters in it, which I think would be phenomenal.
I wouldn't hate it at all.
Which I think would be cool with the path, but I'm excited about the Underworld, which will be good. But again, I'm wondering if they're bringing that in to maybe get us more excited about the Syndicate. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of that. Maybe we'll get a little bit more Crimson Dawn. Maybe we'll get another something off of maybe piggybacking off of Solo.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah,
I absolutely hope so. Crimson Dawn was such a great storyline.
Yet again with these Tales things, like I love the idea of the Underworld. Was never thinking of them doing the Tales of the Underworld. Same as last time, I didn't think they would be doing Tales of the Empire and talk about Morgan Elsbeth, you know, or Barriss Offrey. So once again, I'm surprised in a positive way that like the next show, I wasn't asking for more Cad Bane, although I was, you know, like I would love to see more Cad Bane, but I didn't think we'd get a series on him. No way. And here we are. So I don't even know what to predict what the next Tales thing is going to be, because every time they come out with one, I'm like, oh man, wasn't really even thinking about that. And you've had a whole story fleshed out this whole time. Thanks. Like, but
well, and I like how they go back, because that's where with Ahsoka, you know, and with Dooku, you know, in the Tales of the Jedi, you know, how cool that was to see them, especially Dooku and Qui-Gon younger, you know, and see him as his Padawan, which I thought was really, which was really cool, which I think it'll be interesting to see us go back to Cad Bane a little bit earlier in his life. I don't know how much further back I think it's going to be a different thing for Asajj. I think that's mainly going to be
new stuff.
Right, the new stuff that's happening, you know, right now or in that timeline. It's not going to be going back and forth to, you know, her with the sisters or anything like that, because we already have a lot of that backstory. So it'll be interesting to see what they do after Dark Disciple, how they're going to bring her into this and what they're going to do with it. But it also going to be fantastic to see Bane as a younger person and how he deals with his best friend, and is that his wife and child, you know, and were they killed, or, you know, were they taken from him or something like that. So I think it'll be interesting to see what's going on with that backstory as well.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We went, man, an hour and a half. I'd love
Hour and a half.
Still, I mean, I know we could go for another hour and a half.
Of course.
We're doing this every month. It's Star Wars Jedi Chat Live. We're going to go every second Wednesday of the month, except during Andor. We might throw a couple, like Nick said, a couple emergency lives in after celebration in a couple weeks here, or a week and a half, I guess now. But join us second Wednesday of each month. Come on, we're going to talk about different things. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, you know, please send them in. Go over, check out the other podcasts that we do, the interviews, some of the other lives that we've had, and who knows who's going to pop up here. Thank you everybody for all your questions and everything that tonight and your interactions. Brandon, Justin, Galaxy 23, everybody that's been on here, Brett, Tim, Mike, thanks for popping in here. Steve, appreciate you guys throwing your 2 cents in here, and your everything, that the questions and stuff. We really appreciate the interaction. And so let everybody know about it. Derek, thank you for being here. Appreciate
Always
it.
A pleasure. Always,
thanks, Derek.
Check
Thanks,
Derek's
Derek.
podcast out, Living with the Landspeeder, with a Star Wars-ified Disney rides. And you guys just put out your latest episode, right?
Yeah, we did like a little mystery episode where we spun the wheel.
Yeah.
Trying to get it, you know, bring back the spice in the relationship a little bit.
Nice.
But stay tuned. Again, please, let me see if we got any more comments on here. What else has Brandon got to say?
Nice.
Well, we appreciate you guys popping on here and putting all your Star Wars love with us, because we love it all. And we got some really fun stuff coming up with Andor, Underworld, Star Wars Celebration. We're going to get some huge announcements, I think, out of that. So be looking for us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Star Wars Jedi Chat. We're on all the streaming platforms. Justin, may the Force be with you. And again, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you guys on the next Star Wars Jedi Chat. Thanks, y'all. May the Force be with you.
Thank you.